Hi, I'm John from Inflow Education and welcome to our October newsletter. Today I'll be answering a question I get asked quite frequently, particularly by Year 10, 11 and Year 12 students. The question is, should I do more than the minimum 10 units in the HSC and then have a backup, so to speak? My advice is, unless you're going to commit 100% to more than 10 units, then you're better off just doing the 10 units. I'll explain why. A lot of kids will choose 12 units, an extra 2 units, and if you don't know that already, that the HSC only takes your best 10 units. So you can only take the best 10 that you perform in and 2 gets ignored. So unless you're going to give 100% to all 12, you really don't really have a spare 2 units, if you like. It's a bit like driving around in a car and you've got a spare tyre but it's flat, and that's the analogy I give. You really don't have a spare tyre if it's flat. So generally I find that kids, when they get to probably middle of Year 11 and start of Year 12, they generally know which is the worst 2 units. Keep in mind that English has to be counted. That's the only 2 units that must be included. So students generally know, what am I not doing that well in, and subconsciously they just start to drop off and not really give too much to the subject. But the problem with that is you still need to turn up to class for that subject, you still need to hand in assignments, you need to sit for exams. All that time spent would be better served going into your better 10 units. For students who can commit 100% to 12 units, that's great. You actually do have a spare 2 units, because you're always trying to move that bottom one up and move that bottom one up again. And it's a competition to try and keep pushing the bottom one up. Then if you could do that, then you generally do have a spare 2 units, and you have a backup, so to speak. But in my experience, most students will know pretty early on what's their worst 2 units and psychologically stop giving as much to it, and it really just becomes a drain on their time. So my advice is, unless you're going to commit 100% to that spare 2 units, you're better off cutting it and freeing up that time, because that'll allow you some free periods at school now to do your notes, to do your study, to work on assignments for your best 10 units. There's an animal part to our brain that says, oh, just hoard, keep everything, don't throw anything out. But if you can go beyond that and say, you know what, I'm just going to cut the safety net and give 100% to the 10 units, you'll find that your marks will actually improve in those 10 units. Having an extra 2 units that you're not really committed to, not really doing much with, is just draining you, and it's eating away at your performance in the best 10 units anyway. So it's counterproductive. I hope this has been a benefit to you. Remember to learn well, laugh often, and live a balanced life. I look forward to speaking with you soon.